So College Gameday's competition, Fox's Big Noon Saturday, Big Noon Kickoff. Now it seems that they are beefing up. Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy in discussions to join the Big Noon Kickoff crew. So for those who don't know, Dave Portnoy created Barstool Sports. It has become a kind of a media juggernaut. It's a huge media company now. And he's a Michigan grad. He's a very outspoken Michigan fan. He's a big-time gambler. Talks about it all the time. And my question to you, Ari, is at what point is Urban Meyer going to try to strangle Dave Portnoy on the set of Big Noon Kickoff?
You know, the media landscape is changing dramatically. Both, like, you and I worked for The Athletic and the New York Times. I mean, I almost worked there for a decade. So, like, my brain, to a certain extent, is still kind of, like, mapped out in that way, in that, like, you have to act and behave and say and do certain things in order to maintain employment in this world. And, like, now that this is happening, it's like you don't have to have a standard of anything anymore in terms of, like, what your past is. Like, Dave Portnoy has said many things in the past that would have gotten me dismissed or fired from The Athletic.
Well, he said things that would have gotten him canceled if he didn't own the company. Right.
And, like, that isn't a disqualifying factor in hiring an on-air college football personality anymore. Like it's just the landscape. And I'm not
this
saying
is
that
clearly their attempt to counter program Pat McAfee. And here's the thing. I'll tell you this as someone who came from the writing world. We're trying to make it in this YouTube world. You have to say interesting things. You just do. Like, you can't get up there and say boring stuff. He doesn't say boring stuff. Like, they are hiring him to say interesting things, and that's going to piss some people off.
Well, the thing that's interesting about the comparison between Noon and Game Day is, like, people have gotten upset repeatedly, and maybe I have Ohio State brain, but people in Columbus and people in general don't like Desmond Howard because he picks Michigan every week and never says anything bad about them. And it's almost like, and like Kirk Herbstreit, to his credit, having played at Ohio State, has done his best to separate himself from that bias. Now we're at a point where you don't have to anymore. Like you can hire somebody to come on to the show who, I mean, Dave Portnoy is a media mogul and has made millions and millions of dollars doing it his way.
Is helping either helping fund Michigan NIL deals or connect the funding. Like, he was involved in the Bryce Underwood deal.
But he also too isn't a college football expert.
Like, no, and does not purport to be either.
And, like, you could say what you want about McAfee, but, like, McAfee played college football. Like, he at least has, like, a college football connection. Like, Dave Portnoy's connection to college football is he went to Michigan as a Michigan fan. But, like, I don't know that he, like, spends a lot of time, like, analyzing the game. So it'll be very interesting if this comes through, like, if he's just going to be the clown of the show, or if, like, he's going to take it seriously and try to, like, immerse himself in actual college ball and talk about it in a professional.
Well, I think he's getting hired to say outrageous things. And if Urban Meyer tries to choke him on air, that will be good television.
I mean, yeah.
I think Dave would tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, also, like, Bruce is going to be involved with this guy too. So, you know, our guy Bruce Feldman. That's a interesting.
Bruce plays it down the middle at all times, though. You don't have to worry about Bruce.
I'm saying, like, Bruce Feldman, like, when you think about, like, Urban Meyer, Bruce Feldman, and Dave Portnoy, that's a wide range of personalities.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't know if it's going to change that viewership fundamentally, but the other part of it is, and I think this may be the bigger piece of the deal, is you saw that FS1 canceled a bunch of their shows. It sounds like some of the Barstool shows are going to go on to FS1. So, like, our friends at Pardon My Take are probably going to get, basically just rebroadcast on linear television, which they don't need that because they've already got the biggest podcast in the world. But it's good for them. I'm glad, because they got done dirty by ESPN, if you don't remember that story.
And somebody in the chat here just said, too, that, like, I wonder how many Barstool or Stoolers, whatever they're called, will now watch Big Noon as a result of their fandom of Barstool.
The Stoolies. Yeah.
Stoolies,
I mean,
yeah.
And it's part of this is doing what they did with McAfee, what ESPN did with McAfee, because McAfee reached a different audience. McAfee reached this audience that we're trying to reach here on YouTube, which is that's where the bulk of your audience is going to come from in the future. Like, Ari, what's the biggest streaming service?
Netflix, right?
YouTube. It's YouTube. It's not even close.
I thought you meant like the actual like pay streaming. Yeah. Okay.
No,
yeah.
I know, but well, that's the thing is it's kind of the same thing. But like, there's going to be an NFL game outside the paywall on YouTube this year.
Yeah, YouTube is an absolute monster for sure. Yeah,
but it's a democratic monster because if you don't it's up to you to develop your own audience. You will either develop an audience or you won't. And McAfee developed an audience. The Barstool shows developed an audience. Like, that's why these big networks are now going, because the networks know like their business model is dying.
But did and maybe the answer to this is yes, I don't know, but did College Gameday get a boost in ratings as a result of Pat McAfee show fans watching College Gameday?
I don't know that it got a boost. I think their ratings have slightly improved, but you probably give Saban a lot of credit for that too.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't know. Like,
the show had gotten incredibly stale, and it's less stale with Pat.
I feel like if you are a Pardon My Take listener, you're not going to just go make a point to watch Big Noon Kickoff now.
Big Noon. Yeah, I don't. That's interesting. I want to see what the dynamic is here. But my guess is Dave is supposed to say outrageous things. Like, that's the whole
funny. Like,
object.
He's a funny dude. Like, I think that, like, I mean, I'm not saying I like or dislike the hire. I'm just making a point that, like, we are now putting people on stage in a show, like, because, like, you remember what Big Noon's first angle was?
Oh yeah, we're all ball.
We're all ball, and we're gonna break down plays with coaches with the whiteboard, and we're gonna be really, really like meticulous about explaining football.
Yeah, let's just explain to the folks how that works. Everybody thinks, and news consumption is like this too. Back in the day, if you asked people what their ideal news show was, they would describe the News Hour on PBS. And yet that wasn't the highest rated by any stretch, because that's not actually what they wanted. They said it's what they wanted, but it's not actually what they wanted. Everybody always talks about, I want deep inside football talk. No, you don't. Because that Edge NFL matchup show would be the highest rated show on television if you actually wanted that.
Yeah.
Like the old Ron Jaworski breaking down plays, like, that's not what people actually want. People want to be entertained. They want something funny.
My take on like X's and O's stuff is that they're interesting and they're important. But if I don't understand them myself, then the people who read my stuff don't care to understand it. Because like we've tried in the past, even at the Athletic and stuff, like X's and O's breakdowns, and they do okay. But like there's no evidence that I've ever seen that people at large, like more people will read a story about the drama of something than they will the explanation of why the play.
There's a niche audience that loves the X's and O's.
Yeah.
Loves it. But it's not a general audience. If you want to reach a general audience, you got to reach them with humor, emotion, drama, scandal. That's what everybody wants to see.
Yeah.